here. Sorry, I actually, when I was pressing the live button, I smacked my setup here and threw it all off. So I'm just kind of rearranging. Hello, everyone. Happy December 26th, which is Boxing Day here in Canada. It is the second day of Christmas everywhere else. And if neither of those, it's December 26th. So hello. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas if you celebrate, or I hope you are surviving if you don't celebrate. And thank you for joining. I thought that nobody would be here today because I thought you would all be in like food comas of sorts. I am not in a food coma, even though I am close, because I probably had the finest meal ever. And it was complete with the finest brownie I've ever had in my life, with like, it was a nice hot brownie with icing sugar sprinkled on top and vanilla bean ice cream. Okay, I'll stop talking about my food, but it was sort of relevant because today we have Diamine chocolate brown. So the next thing we are using is the Midori MD B6 Slim Notebook. We've seen it before, but I thought I would just let you know in case we have any newcomers. And we are using the Pilot Falcon. This is the metal version. And we have the soft fine nib. So this is the brown. There's also the black and burgundy and the sapphire, which is like a light purple. But today it's brown because I thought it would match the Diamine chocolate brown. So let's open up the notebook. Look at all the pretty colors. Ooh. Okay. How are you all doing? Are you all surviving? Is everyone alive? What'd you guys, did you get any pens or inks or, you know, stationery accessories as gifts? Or did you give any as gifts? Like maybe you're trying to get someone into fountain pens? I don't know. Okay. Doing great. Excellent. That's wonderful. I am happy to hear this. I'm going to write the notebook. I tried to do like a cursive B and then like a number. So, oh, you got the Pilot Parallel set. Awesome. Your mom has good taste. I absolutely love those pens. You probably know that, but if you don't, I have now told you. They're excellent. So much fun to play with. Such a great price for such simple, wonderful pens that will basically serve you for your entire life. Hello, Ralph. Ralph Ferroni. This is the Pilot Meadow Falcon. Now, I'm not applying much pressure. It's actually a pretty wet writer. You gave a Pilot Metropolitan some ink and Rhodia notepad. Ooh, nice. If that was like a Secret Santa thing, I would not mind being on the receiving end of that. That's a pretty solid gift. Secret Santa. Okay, brief note on the pen. I really like the metal one. It's slightly larger and moderately heavier than the resin version of this pen. I think it's more comfortable. I enjoy the metal just a bit more than the resin, but it is a little more expensive. So, you know, if you're looking for this nib, but you're not willing to go up to the metal, that's totally fine. The resin will serve you just fine. Greetings from the Philippines. Oh my goodness, you're so far away. And you're joining. What time is it there? I was going to do something, but I can't remember what I was going to do. The soft fine nib, for me, works the best because I like the variation it offers. The extra fine does give a bit more line variation, but it, for my taste, it's a little too scratchy. This one has a bit of feedback. It's fairly smooth, but you can feel the feedback. But for a little bit of like hand lettering and some calligraphy practice, I actually like that. I was gonna write calligraphy, but then I butchered it on the C. So I'm gonna write it anyway, and it's gonna look hideous, and that's okay. We're gonna be okay with that. Your future daughter-in-law brought a number of Jinhaos and hero pens from her trip home in China. Oh, nice. I actually really like those hero pens. They have so many fun colors. That's pretty exciting. Yes, we have to have the infamous hello. Hello! Okay, chocolate brown. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to smear a bit on the page by plunging it out of my converter. It could be slightly disastrous, but it's not going to be as bad as the time with the Taisanji yellow where I spilt it, the entire sample all over the page and on the desk. Chocolate brown could not be more perfectly named because it really looks like chocolate. It's very simple. In finer nibs, you're going to get a darker brown. If you have a broad, like a stub or something, even if it's wet, you're going to get a little bit of shading, surprisingly. But the best part about it is, who doesn't want to use something called chocolate brown? Like, look at this. This is delicious. Right? That's awesome. It's a pretty well-behaved ink. It is fairly saturated, so it's the kind of ink that you will get a bit of crust on the mouth of the bottle. Typically, after I ink my pen, I just wipe it down quickly with the nib wipe or the cloth or the tissue paper or whatever I'm using. And then there's no issue. So it doesn't get crusty when you open it. So when you open it, like you don't get little bits of sediment, like the evaporated bits falling off. Evaporated, dried bits. Isn't it pretty, though? Like, does this not make you want chocolate? Like a nice creamy piece of milk chocolate that just like melts in your mouth and makes you hungry for more chocolate? Yes, but the ink does not smell like chocolate, and it definitely does not taste like chocolate. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to write chocolate brown because that is the ink. So if you are looking for a true flex pen, I would suggest you do not get a Falcon because it's a semi-flex and you cannot push it too far because it's not that you will spring it, but what you'll actually do is lift the nib off the feed too much, and then you're going to ruin your ink flow, and it's probably going to need to be realigned and have the nib set back on the feed by someone who knows what they're doing. So that's okay. It's just that just means you need to be a little careful until you get the hang of it, until you know how much pressure you can apply safely. So I'm doing here, this is like a fine to a wet medium or a thin broad, and that is light pressure, and the ink flow keeps up pretty well with this kind of variation. You can push it a little bit more. It does railroad because that's when you're lifting your nib off the feet a little too much, but it's pretty decent. Like if you're looking for something to add some flair to your handwriting, you know, to do some fun stuff, it's a really enjoyable nib. I would say it's fairly forgiving even if you are new with semi-flex, because it's not so soft that even just writing normally will spread the tines too much. There are some nibs, like vintage nibs, that are wet noodles that, you know, even if you're just writing a hello, it will flex with this, just with very light pressure. So unless you have a very controlled hand, uniform pressure application, consistency, something like this is nice. Right, hello, fancy schmancy. Well, I'll try to do fancy schmancy, but now there's so much pressure, right? But not like nib pressure, more like social peer pressure. Hello, see? Give it a bit of a tail. Hello. Really nice color. I like browns that are warmer, so I like ones that are like red brown or like a golden brown. And this one I would say is more on the golden brown side than the red brown. but that's okay because I think it's lovely. I'm gonna write brownies. So that was more like a clean, pretty style. Now I'm gonna do more of like a messy, hand-lettered, modern style. Brownie. Okay, seriously though, people, this was the most unreal brownie. It was made by a chef. I am so spoiled to have so many skilled, talented, lovely people in my life who feed me brownies that I shouldn't be eating. Yes, excellent starter pen. Ralph says, excellent starter pen for those who are interested in experimenting with flex and fancy hellos or fancy brownies or, you know, whatever, something fancy. It's a very reliable pen. And Pilot is a very solid company. Like, their nibs are really enjoyable. They're usually well adjusted, well tuned. I would say to the average preferences. Like, I like my nibs really juicy and stuff, and not everybody else likes that. So, you know, Pilot. Anyway, I'm a big Pilot fan, just saying. So I might be kind of biased. Okay, I've written brownie. I'm gonna write ice cream just for fun because my brownie had vanilla bean ice cream on top and it was unreal. Anyway, I probably have rambled sufficiently. I don't want to keep you all on December 26th, Boxing Day, whatever it may be by you. Just wanted to share a bit of chocolate brown with you. I hope you have been somewhat, if not completely, inspired. Oh, there we go. Sorry. That was not the pen. It was just kind of like the paper here is lifting off. Inspired. Hello and thank you. I will be here again as usual the next time with more ink, more paper, and more pen and nibbage. I hope this was lovely. I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you again for joining. I will slide this here so we can leave that. And I will see you next time. Does it post well? I'll answer that quickly before I close up. It does post. Very snugly, very secure. Doesn't fall off. Probably shouldn't do that with the nib off. The nib out. But yeah, definitely a posting pen. It's pretty awesome. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.